Juneteenth, Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. Juneteenth celebrates the day of June 19th, 1865, when enslaved people of African descent located in Galveston, Texas, finally learned of the freedom from the slavery system in the United States. Freedom was granted through Emancipation Proclamation signed on January 1st, 1863 by President Abraham Lincoln. Let my people go. Industrial, relating to or characterized by industry, very great in extent or amount. Industry, economic activity concerned with the processing of raw materials and manufacture of goods in factories. Hard work. The competitiveness of American industry. The kitchen became a hive of industry.
It's going to be opening this weekend. Already 75 million with this global opening.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wonder what the cost was for this, the budget.
I mean, they taped it out, like, what they taped it? They recorded, like, Brazil or something like that?
They did some stuff here in Atlanta, too, though.
Yeah.
I think, the thing about it is that do these movies match the budget? They say this is the best one yet.
Bad Boys.
Have you seen all of them?
I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
Like all of them. It's not like, number one, my favorite. All of them were my favorite.
Are you going to make plans to go and try and see it?
That's on one of my things to do list.
That's on your Friday song?
Yes, that's on my Friday song.
All right. So, yeah, man, get a chance to go and see that. And we, heard a little clip from Martin. He says it's fine, but they were everywhere. They were in different countries, all these other places. Will acts like he's just ready to get back out there. And, hopefully he does it gangbusters. I mean, he is the box office superstar. If it's got a Will Smith name on it, it's going to do numbers. So, ring it, ding, ding. All right, Quinta Brunson and Jennifer Aniston talk about the effects of social media and TV.
Sometimes it breaks my heart. I long for the days. I'm like, man, I wish I could have been like Sean and Andrew back then when it wasn't. We're a part of your thing. We're part. We're going to tell you what you're doing because we know your at and we know your handle, and it's just fine.
We're shaping your show about like what the algorithm is and what you need to have more of and what you need to have less of.
Yeah.
We never had to speak to any of that.
Yeah.
It was more what were the fans loving it.
Yeah.
That's all that mattered.
Yeah, and now you have to really create that package with Abbott. I had a strict no social media policy for the first season. And I said, I don't care what social media is asking us to do. We have to do what we, the writers, want to do.
Yeah. Watching the Ray J interview with Shannon Sharp, he said that there would be no OnlyFans if him and Kim Kardashian had not released that tape.
I agree.
He was like, I don't know if they were part of the culture or part of the disease.
They started it.
And they asked him, Shannon asked him, did he regret that at all, looking back on it? He says, yeah, he does, because now he has children. He has a 6 and a 4-year-old. He said, back then, it didn't matter, but now, it lives on forever.
You can find out anything within 3 clicks of a button
on Beyonce's internet.
You're an industrial woman. No chef. And still cooking. Hope your footsteps cushion. You might be my favorite human, but you're my favorite industrial woman. Always wins, never losing. Always wins, never losing. Always win, never losing. Hope you might be my favorite human, but you definitely my favorite. again. Hold your face down. Really soft might be my favorite
My parents tried to create an industrial girl, but I have too many quirks to be their clerk. Who really wants to do the hard work? I guess the ones on the perks. Cause they can't quench their own thirst. And since the industry is really nothing but a jerk, cause they only care about the economic activity of everything you learn. So they take you raw, and they take your raw materials, and they manufacture it with a smirk. Haha, my parents tried to create Industrial Girl, but I have too many quirks to be the clerk. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm afraid they'll try to clone me and bury me like dirt. So, as I say, I'm overworked. There's like no worries. We have a version of you that can twerk. My parents tried to create an Industrial Girl, but I have too many quirks for their clerks. And I'd rather be domestic. I'd rather make my own shirts. My parents tried to make me an industrial girl, but I got too many quirks to be the clerk, so my goodies can stay at my puffs.
It's power!
Oh, man, listen.
It's back!
It's gonna be a great weekend.
Power's back! And on the phone, ladies and gentlemen, none other than my brother from another mother, Shaolin's own Method Man. Good morning, bro. How are you?
I'm in my bathroom about to take a shower, and I was rudely interrupted by my brother Teddy. And when the OG make a call, you gotta answer.
Thank you, sir. Listen, the world is excited about this new season of Power.
Yes, sir. A lot of twists and turns this season, man. The biggest twist was us not even knowing that the show was, this is the final season we was filming. But it's a beautiful thing because we got 4 seasons out of this.
Right.
We were blessed to get that. I was very, very pleased to have this opportunity. Thanks to all the people at Stars. Thanks to all the people at Lionsgate, Courtney, Pippi, even my G, Michael Rainey. Just everybody, man.
Yeah, now I know you said it was a surprise to some of the cast members. I remember Michael Rainey going on Instagram and said that he found out when we found out that Power is ending.
I don't know. I think Mike was privy to the information.
Oh, you did? That Tariq, come on now.
Yeah, Tariq.
I'm gonna say I love your character. I'm a huge fan of Power Book and Mary J. Blige and everybody on that screen. So I am really, 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 really sad to see it go.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather go out with a bang than a fart.
Right.
Amen. Talking to Method Man this morning. So, Meth, you're this iconic hip-hop megastar, and you've been working on your acting craft for quite some time. What's next for you on the screen? Where you want to go with this next?
Well, I want to get into producing. I want to definitely produce. Get some of my young and older entrepreneurs to put some of this money together and tell our stories our way.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the acting, that's my first love now, I'm waiting for any challenge that comes my way.
Is there a dream role on your list of things to do? Do you have like a character or something like dream character or role in your mind?
All of them. Honestly, I feel like there is time for another, not even just black superhero on my own, black action hero, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think Michael Jai White has held that role down for a very long time. He's still doing it. I just did a movie with him as well, him and Lala.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that instead of going to people to play characters that can listen to their own.
Okay.
It's about time for that Method Man character. I mean, Method Man sounds like a character all by himself. A superhero.
We love to see that.
Well, sometimes. No, honestly, let's keep it a buck. Did you guys sleep well last night?
I did.
Did you feel safe?
I think I did. I don't know where you're going with this, so I'm going to say I did.
That's because Method Man fights crime at night.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the safety that you provide us, sir.
I act, I rap, and fight crime.
Amen, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I appreciate the time, sir. I'm not gonna hold you up any further. We're looking forward to Power, the final season, but you have definitely represented on it, and we look forward to seeing what you got coming next, bro.
Thank you, brother, and I'm looking forward to that Tommy and Ghost as well. I think that's right out the park. So Power never ends for real.
Amen.
Love
There's
it.
always a different angle on it. Method Man with the Big Chicken Morning Show and Jazzy McBee on the People Station V103. My brother.
What's the big idea? Learning who knows something or where we can find information rather than remembering the information itself is a way to expand our mental reach. And the web has proven better at that than any resource in human history. When we are online, we are essentially linked to a vast hive mind known in psychology as a transactive memory system, which allows us to access the collective knowledge of anyone and everyone. Some worry that our bargain to become a super connected, super knowledgeable society will leave us as individual fools who are helpless without a mobile device. But, as usual, Luddites are likely to be left behind. Hive mind. It's a noun. A notional entity consisting of a large number of people who share their knowledge or opinions with one another, regarded as producing either uncritical conformity or collective intelligence. He has become one of those celebrities whose online presence has made him a favorite of the internet hive mind. In science fiction, a unified consciousness or intelligence formed by a number of alien individuals, the resulting of consciousness typically exerting control over its constituent members. There is a Borg queen who controls the hive mind. Luddite, derogatory, a person opposed to new technology or ways of working, a small-minded Luddite resisting progress. Historical, a member of any of the bands of English workers who destroyed machinery, especially in cotton and woolen mills, that they believed was threatening their jobs from 1811 to 1816. The Black Panther Party, political party. The Black Panther Party was a Black Power political organization founded by college students Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton in October 1966, Oakland, California. The founders were Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, Elbert Howard. It was founded October 15, 1966 in Oakland, California. It ceased its operations in 1982.
To be at the trial where she's been nearly every day. And in France, President Biden telling David in an exclusive interview that he will not pardon his son.
I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution, but let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes. This case is moving swiftly towards a conclusion. Hunter Biden's lawyers telling the judge that this case, quote, is down to that last decision, whether Hunter Biden himself will take the witness stand, given the fact a risky move. Either way, this case should go to the jury early next week. David?
Terry Moran is covering this case for us. Terry, thank you. We heard next tonight in the Supreme Court and new revelations from the financial disclosure of the justices of the court. Justice Clarence Thomas officially acknowledging trips paid for by a Republican mega donor back in 2019, including a vacation to Bali. Other justices disclosing gifts as well. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, now.
Tonight, for the first time, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas formally disclosing lavish trips valued in thousands of dollars and paid for by billionaire and major GOP donor Colin Crow. They included stays at a resort in Bali, a renowned Bohemian Grove Club in Monterey, California. Thomas says these were simply gifts that were personal hospitality from a friend, and he inadvertently omitted them from financial disclosure forms as required by law. But critics raised questions about the ethics and transparency of the courts after information about the trips were first published by ProPublica. In today's amended release, Thomas did not disclose travel expenses, which included a private jet, nor did he disclose the cost of time spent on a yacht as he traveled in Asia. And financial disclosures also revealing six-figure royalties or advances for books to 4 justices, including Ketanji Brown Jackson, who also disclosed gifts last year of more than $12,000 for art to decorate her chambers and concert tickets worth more than $3,700 provided by Beyonce. Tonight's filings are the first from the justices since the court released a formal code of conduct late last year. Justice Alito has yet to release his disclosure. He asked for an extension until later this summer, David.
All right, Pierre Thomas at the court tonight for us. Pierre, thank you. Now to the race for the White House. And tonight, Donald Trump speaking about retribution and revenge, saying sometimes revenge can be justified. Rachel Scott covering the campaign.
Here's the keys to your new apartment, boys. Yay! No, but they right.
There, no need to get choked up. You did a good job raising me, but now that job is over. Bye.
Farewell, brother. They grow up so fast.
Cricket, this is not funny.
Smell you later.
You come back home right now and finish painting the fence.
Bill, wait. I think we should just let him go.
What? Why?
Look, I ran away when I was a kid, and after a few hours, I came running back home with my tail between my legs. This is all part of growing up. He'll learn his lesson. Also, he's right next door. He'll be back.
Remy, is this place really ours? Is this real?
Yeah, I think so, Cricket.
Our very own apartment.
I can do things for myself now. I can pour my own Wawa.
That's right, Remy. And what I want to do is no chores. Ever. At all. Period.
Okay.
From now on, we live life however we want. Whoa! Huh. Maybe we should get some chairs or something.
Did someone order 20 beanbag chairs?
You didn't!
And I'm just getting started.
We were in paradise. We had everything we wanted and more. There was no doubt about it. Me and Remy were living the dream. Night, Remy.
Night, Cricket.
I can't sleep.
Me neither.
Let's party!
Easy head.
Welcome.
Let's party.
Up. Don't forget the cherry. Looking good, Wheezy.
Snap 'em up, snap 'em in.
Cricket, old buddy, this is the life.
Ooh, another party goer. Tilly, you're just in time. Let me show you around the place. Hey there, having fun yet? All right. Ooh, looking good. Here's Santos manning the tattoo station.
They're mostly temporary.
Mostly? Here's the piñata.
Whoa, sorry, little dude.
Psh, no worries, my man. Anything goes at my place. Let me try.
Whoa, cool.
Cricket, do you know any of these people?
Hey, great party.
Thanks, Ron.
Who's Ron?
He's Ron Jr.'s dad.
Ron Jr.?
Hey.
Well, that's great, but I'm just here to relay a message. Papa wants to know when you'll be home.
What? I'm not coming home. This is paradise.
Well, I'll let Papa know.
Tilly, wait. Stay with us. You'll be free here. Does Dad's place have a whack-a-mole machine?
No, we have real moles infesting Papa's garden. You know that. However, there are warm meals and hugs and a nice, clean, cozy bed. Our house may not be paradise, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Psh, well, I choose paradise. Splash me, baby! Woo! I'll never forget those days. I wish they could have lasted forever. Wow, what a night! Remy, wake up! Day 2 of your new life awaits!
Vasquez, can you bring me my morning milk?
Get your own dang milk, Remy. You're your own man now.
Oh, right.
Wow, maybe we should clean up today.
Ooh, that sounds like chore talk. Maybe I need to remind you that I ain't never doing chores, ever!
Come back here and paint the fence.
No! Yeah, no, I'm definitely not doing any chores.
Okay.
More things for me to do myself. I guess.
Nancy said Cricket would have come back by now. Better call her.
Hey, I'm actually already here.
Oh, well, I'm getting worried. It's been a full day and Cricket's still in the apartment.
Yeah, he's lasted way longer than I thought he would.
Well, what should I do now? Just keep waiting him out? What if I never see my boy again?
Bill, relax. It'll turn out fine, I promise.
Oh, I hope so, Nancy. I hope so.
Oh, Cricket, this is crazy! All of our furniture is broken and there's trash everywhere!
Well, Remy, it sounds like now you've got even more stuff to do by yourself, just like you wanted.
When I said I wanted to do things myself, this wasn't what I had in mind! Ants! Why are there ants?
That's Ant Corner. We don't go to Ant Corner.
Stop that racket! My kitty is trying to enjoy his daytime soups!
You ain't the boss of me. I'm a free man.
Be quiet!
Cricket, I don't think you should do that!
Why not? There's no rules against it. Remember, we're free.
Oh, Shutter Butters! Now there's a leak! I can't take this. I can't live like this anymore. Vasquez, come get me. I want to go home.
Oh, Remy, come on. You know you'll be back. This is freedom.
If this is freedom, then I prefer to be locked up.
Master Remy, I have arrived.
Okay, cool. When you come back, can you bring some toilet paper? We're out.
I'm not coming back. Vasquez, home.
Homeward bound.
Fine, go. I don't need you. I just need this apartment. Now I know what you're thinking. Things were looking pretty bad. So I dealt with it the only way I knew how. I'm throwing another party!
Maybe he can make it on his own. Your boy's all grown up, Bill.
We're here for the party! Close the door. You're letting out the pool.
Ew, Cricket, what happened?
The cool party is now the pool party.
Is that sewer water?
No, it's just dirty water. Hey, wait, where are you guys going? Ron Jr., not you guys too. Party on, right, Rons?
No, not this time, dude.
No, come back, guys.
Anush.
What would I do now? Was I destined to live out my days as a humble street urchin? Huh?
Who wants an ice cream sundae?
Yes, please.
Here you go, Papa.
Thanks, sweetie. Here you go, son. Oh, I don't think I'm hungry for ice cream anymore.
All right,
for
you're
Kelly.
boss. I'll go on a diet tomorrow.
I gotta do something to get that boy back. My dearest son, if you come home, I'm prepared to offer you a 50% reduction in chores. Just please come home. Your father, no. Your friend, Dad. Huh? Must be the moles again. Cricket? What are you doing?
Couldn't stand to see this old thing go unpainted. I mean, I don't want my home to be a big old eyesore.
Your home? Your home. I thought your fancy new apartment was your home.
Yeah, well, I thought I could maybe have my old room back. Assuming you didn't, rent it out or something.
Oh, I tried. Believe me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Got lots of offers.
You're joking.
Glad to have you back, son.
Hey, what's this paper in your pocket?
Huh? Nothing.
So, that's how I learned that being on your own as a kid ain't all it's cracked up to be. I hope you learned something.
I didn't even ask you anything. You just started talking.
Yeah.
Don't go away. We'll be right back to the show on Disney Channel. OMC, your favorite song?
June 14th, 2023. LT Penthouse. My dearest Leona Taylor, you inspire me on levels I never imagined that I actually reached. Today was your first dance class, and watching you made me see how true dreams really do come true. You are watching me grow as much as I watch you. You are the light. Hashtag House of Leona Taylor. Hashtag Adventures of Callie B and LT. hashtag Leona Taylor, hashtag Lily, hashtag Munch Munch, hashtag Little Jim, hashtag dance, hashtag dance class, hashtag future, hashtag daughter. Luddite is a noun. It's derogatory. It's a person opposed to new technology or ways of the working. 2. Historical. A member of any of the bands of English workers who destroyed machinery, especially in the cotton and woolen mills, that they believed was threatening their job. 1811 to 1816.
America, right? Right. And while I agree slavery is absolutely a factor, the Jewish people went through the Holocaust and they have healed and come out looking and feeling amazing about, like, they've just done so, you know what I'm saying? They've come together, they stay together. Why can't we do that?
Well, I mean, they also have a machine behind them. You say anything about anybody Jewish, watch what's going to happen.
Because they stick together.
I mean, yeah, we do all need to stick together. That is an honest to God truth, but it's not something that's instilled in us. I think it's every man for himself has been more instilled in us than sticking together. I mean, anybody that's ever tried to put us together as a people is dead. Martin Luther, Medgar Evers, I mean, the list goes on and on. Anybody that's ever tried to put us together as a people, they killed them. So when you do that, you're destroying any type of leadership, any type of foundation, any type of structure to bring us together as a people. Okay. So I just think it's a lot that we need to work towards together. We need people that actually want to take those leadership roles. I mean, it's a lot of people that may take somewhat of a leadership role, but don't want to go all the way in because they know their outcome could be death.
Wow.
You know who decides to take them out.
Thank you for your call, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good morning.
You too. Good morning, B103.
So, Kimberly from Atlanta. I am a high school counselor, and what I have noticed over the years is, I hate to be one of them people that be like, it's the media. But the examples that our young people are seeing is as soon as you're offended, as soon as you feel like somebody has taken you the wrong way, you pop off. So that's what they're doing. We used to have Big Mama that would be like, count to 10. Don't do that. Don't act out of your character. You representing your whole family. So you wouldn't do that mess. You would feel like it, but you wouldn't do it. Now you got people who are like, even in my family, folks like, I'm not going to raise my kids like Big Mama did me. I'm not going to hold my kids back. I'm going to let them be creative and individual. And you got some individuals that's popping off because they haven't learned those lessons. They seeing mama pop off. They seeing daddy pop off. They looking at TV. Everybody popping off. So they feel like that's how we supposed to handle it. The adults that I see on TV, the adult that I see in my house, that's what they do. That's what I'm going to do.
So we have not been good role models to our kids.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for your call.
We got to get that part back.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
I didn't think I was going to get a definitive answer. Conversation is worthy. We urge you to continue it on our social media at Big Ticket Morning Show at V103 Atlanta. There's moments where I'm saying we could do better.
Yeah, we could do better. And then it's like, what's the resolve to it? You know, and I know we've had meetings about it. You know, we've had these marches, you know, but what's the resolve to it? You know,
again, not going to get solved today. No. Well worth the conversation. We'll be back with more Big Ticket Morning Show, including how you sign up for scholarships if you're heading to school, deadlines and more. We'll have all that information for you after 9 o'clock with the Big Ticket Morning Show on V103.
Let's go. Unicorn. Ow. Take that, dragon. Fire breathing dragon.
You're a giant. You broke my magic wand.
Unicorn.
Magic slide. Your unicorn slide.
Yeah. You want to see if he got candy? Oh, he's about to leave.
Yeah.
He might have candy. I don't know. Unicorn. Oh, he's about to.
Get out of the way.
Good morning. It is June 18th, 2024. It's 6:47 a.m. and Liana sleep. And I've had a lot of research that I've been doing lately and putting new pieces together, discovering new things. I really like to just research, nothing in particular for out in the world except my personal curiosity and connecting things. And as I said before, a lot of this is really for my daughter. When she gets older, I could go over things that you probably wouldn't necessarily go over in the way I go over them in the real world, because we go to school, we learn, and we experience whatever it is. You have to experience, and you have to understand, and you have to know your history and all this other stuff. It's a lot. But recently, because I've been in transition and I've been in a different settling mode, because you can't settle too much, especially if you want to move. Because I know I want to move, and I have to make things lighter for me to move. Because too many things settle me, too many attachments, I can't move as easily. So I'm in transition now, which I'm really, really excited about. So it gives me a moment to reset. And so I've been taking a lot of notes, making a lot of new entries and whatever you want to call it. But I've had this list that I've been kind of working on and dividing into different, mood boards. We'll just go with it. And it takes me on different tangents. So this is the last piece of my to-do list tangent of researching a different direction and figure out where I want to go and what I want to do next. But I've been writing, I'm just getting adjusted and to the new me, to the new level of life, to the new experiences. And I feel like a lot of it is that Men in Black flash, that they flash in front of your eyes and you forget. I feel like a lot of this is that. So bear with me, because if you don't listen to me normally, I bounce back and forth a lot with different concepts and correlations. That's why I have a quote-unquote underlining, that's my go-to, because it's so random and it's so unorganized thoughts. This is how I organize them. So I write them down and I do research. I research a lot, but today I'm going to do something I normally do, but I'm going to do it quick. So this week has been, I've been dropping a lot of you could say memoirs or whatever on my YouTube channel. I've been dropping one every day, and some of them are new, some of them are old, some of them are revamped. I mean, they're new to everybody online. Some of them I wrote years ago, and I just made an audio out of it. So that was really cool to revamp my own book, or to look at a different perspective. It's just really cool. But so this is my book, Jesus is Calling Y'all. So I'm gonna read. I'm gonna come in and read yesterday, because yesterday was a very special day. Well, every day is a very special day, but I purposely dropped. It was Father's Day, so I celebrate my father in a different way that I normally don't. And then just different things, just different special days. So this was June 17th. Learn to laugh at yourself more freely. Don't take yourself or your circumstances too seriously. Relax and know that I am God with you. When you desire my will above all else, life becomes much less threatening. Stop trying to monitor my responsibilities, things that are beyond your control. Find freedom by accepting the boundaries of your domain. Laughter lightens a load and lifts your heart into heavenly places. Your laughter rises to heaven and blends with the angelic melodies of praise. Just as parents delight in the laughter of their children, so I delight in hearing my children laugh. I rejoice when you trust me enough to enjoy your life lightheartedly. Do not miss the joy of my presence by carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Rather take my yoke upon you and learn from me. My yoke is comfortable and pleasant. My burden is light and easy and boring. So that was yesterday. So today is June 18th. So I'm going to read today. And then that's kind of like the opening of like the to-do list today. All right, June 18th. You are my beloved child. This is today. I choose you before the foundation of the world to walk with me along paths designed uniquely for you. Concentrate on keeping in step with me instead of trying to anticipate my plans for you. If you trust that my plans are to prosper you and not to harm you, you can relax and enjoy your present moment. Your hope and your future are rooted in heaven, where eternal ecstasy awaits you. Nothing can rob you of your inheritance or unimaginable riches and well-being. Sometimes I grant you a glimpse of your glorious future to encourage you, to spur you on. But your main focus should be staying close to me. I set the pace in keeping with your needs and my purpose. So that's today. And of course, I'm doing this for tomorrow, for Juneteenth. So I'm going to close out with Juneteenth words at the end. So yeah, I'm going to refill my coffee real quick. And then we're going to go into why we're celebrating Juneteenth. Okay.
So Juneteenth is one of those holidays that start out from the bottom up. It starts out because people in Texas start celebrating it. They remember stories about what happened in this little place in Galveston, right outside of Houston, Texas, where on June 19th or thereabout, on that day, the Union Army arrives in Galveston, Texas, and they read the Emancipation Proclamation to a bunch of people who are living on these islands outside of Galveston, and who may not have heard that the war was over. So we're in an army now arriving in Galveston, Texas on June 19th with some African American soldiers. 6,000 African American soldiers were with the Rangers when he showed up there on June 19th. So it's something worth celebrating. It was being celebrated locally by those people in Texas for many years. It spreads to Oklahoma, it spreads to Colorado and some of those Midwestern states. And eventually Dr. Myers puts together a national organization, and he comes knocking on my door here in Washington, D.C. and says, I need you to help me. We need to get this thing passed to Congress. So, of course, we do what we can here to help him get it passed. And he didn't live long enough to see it get passed to Congress. But last year, Congress finally passed the bill, and President Biden signs into law the Juneteenth celebration day. Well, I think that these monuments and museums and public things that we name are important. What we name them is important because it says something about the values of the society, and that's why we need museums like this to hold up these stories, in which you need holidays like Juneteenth, because it's time for everybody to stop for a minute and say, what is Juneteenth all about? What is this about? This is a story of the last day that slavery existed in the last outpost in the southernmost section of the United States. That's what it is. And everybody has to now stop for one moment to think about what does that mean. And so we'll all put some meat on those bones as time goes on.
Okay, so we just had a small video of what the history of Juneteenth, and it's a federal holiday that commemorates the end of all slavery in the United States, and will be celebrated on Wednesday, June 19th this year. Though the holiday has been celebrated for years, it's fairly new to the list of federal holidays in the United States. I don't get this day off. So, I actually work with a different type of people, background, culture. I work with a completely different culture. And it's cool. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because I learn a whole lot. And honestly, I probably wouldn't be on these tangents all the time if I wasn't with the people I was with, because they always say something to me and I'm like, what is that? And if I'm curious, I look it up. If I'm like, whatever, I don't really care that much. I just let it go. There's so much information in the world, but sometimes some things just catch your attention. So this was one particular piece that does not have anything to directly do with Juneteenth, but it was on my research list, and I just wanted to research it real quick. So I just kind of threw it in here based off of the act of freedom. I'm free to do that. So I believe it's called Akashic Records, AKASHIC Records. It's a book that says it has all events, thoughts, and feelings that have occurred or will occur in the universe. They are said to imprint on the Akasha, the astral light, or the book of life. The concept originated with Madame Blavatsky and the spiritual movement, Theosophist, Theosophist, spiritual movement. Modern practitioners believe that Akashic records can be accessed through their prayer, intuition, and meditation. And that's what we were kind of talking about at work. It says, what is the Akashic records? Somebody asked that. We might call them soul readings. No two Akashic records readings will ever be the same. I'm going to do some more research on this, but I just want to mention it and just kind of like timestamp like when I started, because I think it's interesting, but I have no clue what I'm really reading right now. So it's not a big deal because I have more things that on this list that I want to research. And one of them I mentioned earlier is a Luddite. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I was saying Luddite, but I think it's Luddite. But I still was like, what? I'm stuck on the fact that I know I read, basically when all else fails, Luddites will be left behind. So in all reality, they're going to be the survivors because they're not using machines. So not saying I'm a Luddite, but Luddites still exist. So what I had to figure out, like, what was the original Luddite? Like, why they go on this, like, why were they who they were? So a Luddite were members of the 19th century movement of English textile workers who opposed the use of certain type of co-saving and wage stealing. I'm just reading what I'm Googling right now at this point. The Luddites were members of the 19th century movement of English textile workers who opposed the use of certain type of cost-saving wage stealing machinery and often destroyed machines in clandestine raids. So I guess they basically destroyed machines that they thought that were going to replace them in a sense. Sound familiar? So who are the original Luddites? The original Luddites were British weavers and textile workers who objected to the increase of used mechanism looms and knitting frames. Most were trained artists who spent years learning their craft, and they feared that unskilled machine operators were robbing them of their livelihood. I know that feeling. When was the first Luddite riot? Initially, the response from the government was to put through the Protection of the Stocking Frames Act in 1788, which essentially increased the penalties for destroying factory equipment. This did little to hinder Luddite activity. On March 11, 1811, the first major Luddite riot took place in Nottingham. They didn't last very long. The group became known as Luddites. Their protest failed. The government sent in soldiers and fought a gun battle with the Luddites near Huntersville in June 1812. In 1813, 14 Luddites were hanged. But I thought this was interesting. The Luddites were named after General Ned Ludd, or King Ludd, a mythical figure who lived in Sherwood Forest and supposedly led the movement. I don't understand how it says mythical figure that led the movement. So that was very interesting. And what ended it? Harsh sentences that found guilty, which included execution Transportation quickly ended the movement. They basically moved them across the country. If they started breaking machines, capital crime with Frame Breaking Act 1812. So they still kind of exist, but they faded away. But the concept of mindless approach toward keeping current technology without change continued. It still does today with the rise of industrial age. We moved about as quickly into the computer age, e-commerce age, information age, and whatever our age is today. So that was my side tangent for that because I wanted to know what that was. Also, back to Juneteenth. So this was, we know the old saying 40 acres and a mule, but honestly, I know that's what we're supposed to get. I know it's kind of like the underlying haha, not funny joke a lot of times because it's not funny, but it's true and it's history, and it turned into such a like a brush off the shoulder joke. But honestly, I really didn't know the history behind 40 acres and a mule. I know the basics, but that's what Black people are owed. But I was like, why, and why didn't we get it? Because I was like, how much is an acre? You know, how much is why is it a mule? Why is it not like why is it a mule? Why is it not a horse? Like why a mule? Like, but we didn't. It wasn't in there anyway. So I googled it because I was like, I gotta know. All right. Let's see. Did any slaves get 40 acres and a mule? By June, the land had been allocated to 40,000 of total of 44 million freed slaves. Mules were not included in the order, but the Union Army did give some away a part of the effort. What does 40 acres and a mule mean? 40 acres and a mule is part of a Special Field Orders number 15, a wartime order proclaimed by Union General William Sherman on January 16, 1865, during the American Civil War, to allot the land to some free families and plots of land no longer than 40 acres. So what happened to the 40 acres and a mule? Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's successor and sympathizer with the South, overturned the order in the fall of 1865 as Barton Meyer sadly concludes, returned the land along the South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida coast to the planters who had originally owned it, to the very people who had declared war. What would 40 acres and a mule be worth today? 40 acres and a mule would be at least $6.4 trillion today. What the U.S. really owes Black people, well, Black America. I'm just reading. Why was the Special Order 15 revoked? After Lincoln's assassination, President Johnson overturned the Special Field Order. He stated that the confiscated land could only be held during wartime. After the war ended, the land would need to be turned to the land owners. So there you go. Why did the slaves? You know what the slaves did after they were free? Some still are. So we're gonna close that for now. And then it made me think about the Industrial Revolution. So I got a quick clip for that.
Invention, innovation, progress. These words are often linked with a period of time when advancements in technology, travel, and communication transformed everyday life. We call this time the Industrial Revolution. Before the Industrial Revolution, clothing, machines, and other goods were made by hand in the homes and small businesses of citizens. Crafting goods took time and effort, and the process was often slow. Over time, people began to create new machinery that would make the work more efficient. After all, creating more goods in a shorter amount of time meant more money. Our story begins in Britain from the 1760s to the 1840s. During that time, called the First Industrial Revolution, British businessmen and inventors developed new methods of manufacturing. Manufacture means to make something using large machinery. Inventions such as the water frame, spinning jenny, and the spinning mule transformed the textile or cloth industry. Workers could use these machines to spin fiber into yarn at a lightning pace compared to previous machines. On top of that, new methods of producing better quality iron expanded the steel industry. Meanwhile, people like James Watt were working on something else just as exciting, the steam engine. Soon, everything from factories to new types of transportation were using steam power to work faster and travel farther than ever before. As you can imagine, Britain wanted to keep this new machinery top secret. If they kept the technology for themselves, they would have an edge on manufacturing over everyone else. Alas, the secret seeped out to other parts of Europe and the rest of the world. In 1793, a man named Samuel Slater built a textile mill in Rhode Island. Hailing from jolly old England, Slater brought his newfound knowledge of textile manufacturing across the pond and sparked a second wave of innovation, this time in the United States, a time period that would become known as the Second Industrial Revolution. Before long, textile factories were popping up in cities around the U.S., particularly in the North. These factories were centers of industry, and some serious work violations compared to modern times, but housed all the steps to produce cloth in one place. The factory workers were often women and children who worked long hours under harsh conditions. More on that in just a bit. From the late 1700s into the 1800s, new types of machinery continued to transform everyday life. Agricultural advancements included the cotton gin, which pulled seeds from cotton, as well as the McCormick reaper, the steel-tipped plow, and the thresher, all of which were used in fields to plow, cut grain, and separate it from the stalks. In the transportation industry, steel and steam engines were king. Railroad lines began crisscrossing the country, accompanied by roads and canals. Travel that took months now only took a few days thanks to steamboats and steam-powered locomotives. Advancements in communication left heads spinning as well. Messages could be sent via telegraph wire using Morse code, and by 1876, Alexander Graham Bell made history by calling his assistant Thomas Watson, saying, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Pretty cool, right? Well, what wasn't cool were the working conditions in factories, the rise of enslaved labor and child labor, among other things. During the time period of the Industrial Revolution in the U.S., the number of enslaved laborers increased from approximately 500,000 persons in 1790 to over 3 million by the mid-1800s. Many of these enslaved persons were forced to work on fields and in homes and suffered greatly under the condition of slavery. Additionally, as towns exploded into busy cities, living and working conditions in these urban areas proved dangerous. Cities were dirty, polluted, overcrowded, and lacked basic housing, sanitation, and even safe drinking water. In factories, the conditions weren't any better. Many of the workers in factories were women and children. They worked up to 12 hours a day, often 6 days a week. They had few rights and could be fired for even the smallest wrongdoing. Vacation time, sick leave, weekends, forget about it. Factories were dangerous places to work. It wasn't uncommon to lose fingers and suffer other injuries while working on large machinery. Sicknesses spread quickly in factories, which lacked access to clean air and basic facilities. Children worked for the lowest wages and were often given the dangerous work of running in between large machinery to fix problems. They worked the same number of hours and days as adults in conditions that left them injured, sick, or worse. In response to these working conditions, labor unions formed to fight for the rights of factory workers, and child labor laws were put into effect. The abolitionist movement to end slavery picked up speed, and the women's rights movement began to gather more support. Change was in the air, after all, in more areas than just the invention of new technologies. People were ready to stand up and fight for their rights. A new revolution of sorts, all to its own. The Industrial Revolution, in Britain, America, and other parts of the world, changed society in many ways. It's a complex topic about a groundbreaking time in history that has had lasting impacts, even on our lives today. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. To keep
Okay, that was a lot more information than I expected out of that 6-minute video, but I'm glad I got it. But at the end of the day, I just Googled what was the purpose of an industrial revolution, because the industry, there has to be an industry somewhere to produce. There just has to be. You have to produce something to do something for society. Like, it's just impossible not to have. But there's so many different types of industries that I was just like, well, this is called the Industrial Revolution. So let's start here. What was the purpose? It shifts society from agrarian economy to manufacturing economy. So it took the basically green out of the world and put a machine. Got it. It increased production and efficiency. Machines do multiply stuff faster. Lower prices and create more goods. So you have more stuff, less value. Improved wages. It depends. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Lead to migration from rural areas to urban areas. I guess if you want to live in an urban area, that's the city. It's created industrial revolutions or just little cities. I'm glad they cleaned it up, because it does sound like a horrible way to live, but I could see when she was talking about the children working there and then like some manufacturing companies, children still work there. I mean, you have to have, that's the experience. But that they talk about when you graduate college, you have experience and a degree. That's what they talk about. You work in the industry as a child. That's what they're talking about. So yeah, but nonetheless, that was interesting. So that was a wormhole. Yeah. So let's get out of here and go to the next one real quick. So I was listening to something on the radio, and I was like, I didn't know that. Well, it didn't cross my mind. Not that. Well, I didn't know that the government had a film department, and I think the Western. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just didn't know that. So I was like, they have a, what are they filming? You know, like, I mean, it didn't, I guess. So anyway, and it's very specific. That's what it was. Like, why did they specifically have a film department? Which, I mean, they tell us, but, you know, obviously they're filming shit. I mean, it's the government. So I just looked up, why does the Pentagon have a film department? Because that's where it is, in the Pentagon. And the answer of the Defense Department Entertainment Media Division, which vets scripts, can provide project support ranging from base access to equipment to uniform background actors, assets that might be expensive or impossible for studios to source them out. So that was the basic, like, but if basically if you use the government's film department, they have a say over your script. They have rights to it because you're using their equipment. But to make sure, it's supposed to make sure that history is accurate. But we all know, like, everything is a perspective at some point. Like, you're recreating something, so something's not going to be the exact of what originally happened. But the DOD has a say in every U.S. made movie that uses DOD resources not available on the open market in their production. During the World War II, Hollywood. Okay, so then it mentioned Hollywood, and I was like, obviously, like, some of these are big movies. So what did they produce? And they actually produced really big movies, and I was like, all these are military related. Interesting. So the Entertainment Media Division, which vets, yeah. Okay, so the Pentagon collaborates with Hollywood through its entertainment media division. The division reviews film scripts and provides support, including access to military gear, vehicles, and personnel. By doing so, the Pentagon ensures accurate depictions of military stories and safeguards sensitive information. Hollywood benefits from the assets that might be prohibitively expensive or impossible to source independently. This long-standing relationship has influenced some of the biggest blockbusters in film history, allowing the movie like Top Gun to feature naval air station aircraft carriers and fighter jets flown by the actual military pilots. Critics argue that these collaborations can serve as propaganda to blockbuster or bolster recruitment efforts and influence overseas. That's interesting. I looked up what movies the military actually backed, and I was like, oh, these are American Sniper that came out in 2014, Air Force One, 1997, Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997, Deep Impact, 1998, Apollo 13, 1995, Iron Man 2, 2010, Iron Man, 2008, GoldenEye, 1995, Man of Steel, 2013, I Am Legend, 2007, Suicide Squad. I thought that was interesting. 2016, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014, True Lies, 1994, Top Gun, 1986, Transformers, 2007, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, 2009, Twister, 1996, Armageddon, 1998, Indiana Jones, and The Last Crusade, 1989, Captain Marvel, 2019, Captain America Civil War, 2016, Transformers Dark of the Moon, 2011, Iron Man 3, 2013, Top Gun Maverick, 2022, The Avengers, 2012. So these are all military-backed movies. So the military read the script, approved the script, and then let the people, whoever wrote it, use the military devices they wanted, which in theory is cool. I'm not going down that route with any of my screenplays, so not worried about that. But I thought that was just an interesting, like, maybe it could help somebody, maybe it could make people aware of stuff, I don't know. So, but I do have this, what is this? Oh, it's talking about the same thing. Talking about movies. It was a documentary I was watching. It says, The Theaters of War. A new documentary scrutinizes Pentagon-Hollywood relationship, but is it propaganda? And I was like, I don't care. Pentagon film industry. I was diving deep in this one. Answer. I'm missing one. So I also heard this weird word, and it's called deep fake, and I had to like, what is deep fake? It's a real word. It's a noun. A video of a person in which their face or body has been digitally altered so they appear to be someone else, typically used maliciously or to spread false information. So that honestly looks like those AI. I mean, it says a video of a person. It already starts out with a video of a person in which their face or body has been digitally altered so they appear to be someone else. The only way you can appear to be someone else that you're not in a video, because it's a video and not the person, I guess the voice to do a voice over of that person. We see that all the time, like deep fake. So that basically, yeah, I thought that was interesting. But you know what I did look up recently? I thought it was really cool. Somebody else said they didn't know this, and I was like, I shared it with somebody and it made their day. So if you ever saw 19 Crimes, I think Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg promoted mostly. I was trying to collect the bottles, but I couldn't find the bottles anymore, and I couldn't remember. Like I would have to take pictures of them to remember, and I just forgot. But I have half a collection. I'm working on the collection because I think the bottles are really cool. Because if you download the app, the app will have a barcode, and you can scan any bottle, regardless if it's Martha Stewart or Snoop Dogg, which those are actually only two I scan. But all of them do it. They tell the person on the bottle talk. Like if you have your phone in front, I'm gonna do that. Put my phone in front of the bottle so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you download the app to 19 Crimes Wine, and you put the barcode of the bottle in front of your camera somewhere in the app, the bottle will start to talk to you, whatever character it scans. So there's a video of like Snoop Dogg talking to you and like this weird because it's still digital. It's so interesting to watch. But Martha Stewart, I love her, so I had to do hers too, and I was just like, this is hilarious. So I'm gonna try to see if I can record that real quick. I hope, just to show you. But I mean, it's freedom. This is all for Freedom Day. I hope you're not feeling trapped out there internally. I hope you're feeling free today. I hope you feel extraordinary. I hope you can reach any star and any height. I hope you're feeling high. Whatever high you on, be on that high. Be a good high. Be a positive high. Like, so anyway, closing out, like I said, this is Jesus is Calling. June 19th. I am the firm foundation on which you can dance and sing and celebrate my presence. This is my high and holy calling for you. Receive it as a precious gift. Glorifying and enjoying me is a higher priority than maintaining a tidy, structured life. Give up your striving to keep everything under control, an impossible task and a waste of precious energy. My guidance for each of my children is unique. That's why listening to me is so vital for your well-being. Let me prepare you for the day that awaits you and point you in the right direction. I am with you and continually. So don't be intimidated by my fear. Though it stalks you, it cannot harm you as long as you cling to my hand. Keep your eyes on me and enjoy peace in my presence. But let all who take refuge in you be glad. Let them ever sing for joy. Spread your protection over them, and those who love your name may rejoice in you. Psalms 5:11. Now to him who is able to me immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. To him be glory in the church and Christ Jesus. Ephesians 3:20-21. To him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you before his glorious presence without fault and with great joy, to the only God, our Savior, be glory, majesty, power, and authority through Jesus Christ, our Lord, before all ages, now and forevermore. Amen. Jude 24:25. No one will be able to stand up against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave nor forsake you. Joshua 1:5.
Tonight for action in this country when it comes to social media and what he says are the dangers to children. He says social media should have a warning label like cigarettes. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with the Surgeon General tonight.
Tonight, an urgent call from the nation's top doctor, the U.S. Surgeon General, pushing for social media apps to carry tobacco-style labels, warning of the risk to teens and their mental health.
This is the defining public health challenge of our time. Social media has emerged as an important contributor to that youth mental health crisis.
In a New York Times op-ed today, Dr. Vivek Murthy saying teens who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media double the risk of anxiety and depression symptoms. The average time spent for that age group is nearly 5 hours. Murthy says warnings on social media would limit screen time, pointing to how tobacco labels helped cut smokers in the U.S. from 42% to 12% over 50 years.
We've seen in tobacco labels that they're effective in increasing awareness, but also in changing behavior.
In this stunning moment before senators back in January, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg apologized directly to families whose children have been harmed by social media.
But in our heart,
Todd and Mia Minor's 12-year-old son Matthew died while trying a social media challenge. They want more than an apology.
it's our job to keep kids safe, but it's also our job to make sure that these regulations are put in place to keep kids safe. If milk wasn't regulated, they'd take it off the market. If something else caused illness, they take it off the market.
David, those new social media warning labels would need to be approved by Congress, which has yet to pass any legislation to do that. David?
Elizabeth Schulze with us as well tonight. Thanks, Elizabeth. Now to the race for the White House here, the first presidential debate in just 10 days now. Tonight, President Biden's new campaign ad playing in the battleground states, focusing on Donald Trump's felony conviction, Donald Trump in Michigan, and tonight how both are preparing for this debate. And how will the debate handle the microphones while the other candidate is talking? Here's our chief White House correspondent, Barry Bruce, now.